And you'll have to play nicely with the microphone.
Definitely.
Okay, I'll start with you, Miss Yancey, and you can actually both answer this question. How did you originally come to Mount Lebanon? How long have your students attended? And just in general, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Okay. My son is Brandon Yancey. He's over there probably hiding away
Featured in our annual appeal letter.
because he doesn't like to be in the spotlight. But I was searching after my son attended 95th Street School at MPS. I was searching for a middle school. And I don't know if anybody knows the journey with MPS and middle schools. Not as great to search for. I wasn't having a really good luck. So of course, I decided to ask people that I knew. And speaking with a young lady who actually was our hairdresser, she gave me a recommendation for the Alpha campus. And I went there to just explore. And it was funny because I actually met, and she's probably gonna be mad at me, Liz, one of my students. She was at the front door, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's one of my students. Because I actually am an adjunct professor at Concordia. It's like a part-time job thing. And I saw her, and she gave me like the thumbs up, you know. She's like, they're like you, and that's a big compliment, I guess. Ask Liz, because she keeps saying that there's a great school, and she's like, you'll really enjoy it from a teaching perspective. And it was just very welcoming, the school, and I wanted to make sure that my son's education was, you know, to the forefront. As the other students have said, which I can articulate, that I didn't want my son just to be passed. I wanted him to actually have some knowledge when he left, instead of saying, yes, you just made it through these different, you know, grades. So that was what I was really searching for, and I think that Mount Lebanon is delivering from that. So I'm very, very happy with my choice, and I know that Brandon has made some very nice friendships, and with the teachers he's really come to grow with, and I think that it's overall the best opportunity for my son. So.
Hello, so my name is Keena Garvin, and I am the mother of Danny Lovett. So he has been going to Mount Lebanon since he was in K4. Kind of funny story, we kind of just accidentally landed in Mount Lebanon. So prior to K4, he was at Next Door Foundation. He did the Head Start at Next Door Foundation. So when it came to K4, you know, as first-time parents, it was a lot of pressure making sure that I sent my son to the proper school, you know, to the best school. So I had already had it in my mind that I really wasn't going to go through MPS. So I had my mind set on one specific school, and I won't say that school, so I applied, and someone told me, like, hey, when you apply, make sure that you apply to a secondary school because you may not get in or it may be a waiting list. So I'm like, well, I had only researched and had my heart and mindset on that one school. I did not do any other research on any other school. So after they told me that, I went back to the drawing board, and went on Google and asked a couple of questions, did a little research, and then it came up with Mount Lebanon. And the reason why I picked Mount Lebanon to apply as well is because the two schools had a lot of similarities. So I did the application. The first school, he was on the waiting list. So I'm like, well, in the meantime, school is about to start in like a week. I have to send him somewhere. So I'm like, in the meantime, I'm just gonna send him to Mount Lebanon, and hopefully this other school calls me back. So about after 2 to 3 weeks, I get a phone call saying, hey, you know, your son, he's up for it. He can come to the school now. And I'm like, but we're already at Mount Lebanon, and so far I'm liking it. Like, I was very blown away because, once again, it's like we have a plan, but obviously God had other plans in mind because I just had my heart set on this one school. But God said, no, I think I got something better for you. Just be patient. So we went to Mount Lebanon K4, and like I said, we got the call from the other school, and I'm like, we've already been here for a month. I love it so far. They are very open and welcoming me. Every morning they allow me to sit and have breakfast with my son. You know, and it was, for me, it was a very tough time because it's like we was going through some personal problems already in our life, and then I just wanted to know that my son was okay. So me asking them, like, okay, can I stay here? And they were like, of course, you can stay as long as you want. And they just really made me feel welcome. And I'm like, okay, God, I see what you did. I think we're going to stay here. And 4 years later, we have still been here. And I am happy to say that we're part of a family. Like, honestly, Mount Lebanon is our family. It's just been wonderful experience after wonderful experience, and I know that I made the right decision, even though it really wasn't my choice at first. God kind of had to tweak it a little bit, but it all worked out in the end. So yeah, that's how we came here.
Thank you. I've got a few questions on here, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to skip to my favorite question, which is, what is one of your favorite things about Mount Lebanon? If you had to say, this is my favorite, what is it?
I will have to say the communication and the openness. That is one of the biggest things that I will say. You guys text me, call me, email me constantly. I think I've never had so much communication from a school in my life. But it's not like it's annoying. It's so welcoming because she's laughing, Miss Liz over there. She's laughing because, yeah, we're like pen pals. I love it because I know what's going. Like you stated, like you were there with your son sitting with. I know what's going on with my son. I know when I drop him off, he's safe. And if not, even something minor. You know, if he forgot his tie, I get a text about it. I'm like, okay, I'll tell him he forgot to get his tie next time. You know, it's those things that it just really, really helps with that. And I'm not crying because of that. It's like the lights are getting
So when I was in middle school, I love the middle school that I went to. It no longer exists, but it's called Westside Academy. And it was kind of similar to, because it was right in the inner city. You know, it was right smack dead in the inner city. And it was predominantly a lot of black students there. But despite the location and everything, we had some of the best teachers. And I'm speaking from my experience. I was a student there, and I'm 31 years old. And I remember the experience that I had going to that school. And I used to always say, when I get old enough and when I have a child, I'm going to send my child to that school. But that school is closed. So Mount Lebanon actually is the closest thing that I have to that experience. And I remember as a student feeling like my teachers really love me. They tell me they love me. Danny just told you all that, I believe it was Ms. Wint, every day she told her students that she loved them. That's very important. Because I know that I love my child, and every day I remind him, but for someone else who he's around alone, because our kids are with the teachers and staff for, a nice time throughout the day, and for them to tell our kids, like, I love you, I care about you, I care about your well-being. And all of the functions and the events that you guys have to bring the families in the school together as one. I personally have so many relationships with so many people in this room, and I love that feeling. And I feel like this is a relationship, like we're really a family. Like I've been to Bible studies, I've been to cookouts, like Pastor Krieger invites us over for dinner all the time. He's not just saying it just to be nice. Like he really wants us to come over, and we really will. So just the bond and the relationship that we have built over the 4 years with all of the faculty, it's very heartwarming because I know for a fact that they care about my son. I feel that in my heart. So that will probably be like the most important reason, the reason why I love being here, because I feel important. I know if I bring anything up to the dean, to the principal, just the idea, they're gonna take my idea into consideration. Little old me, I'm just one parent out of all of these parents, but I know that they value what I bring to them. They value my opinion. I don't feel like my child is just another number. And that was my main thing. I never wanted my son to go to a school where he was just another number. No. They all know Danny. They care about him there. He's just not another number. So that's why I love this school, and I feel like we made the best decision for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so is there anything that's challenging about Mount Lebanon? And I honestly don't know how I want you to answer this question. I put it on here, and I'm thinking, how do I what? You've seen it? Go ahead. Is there anything that's challenging? Easy peasy.
And I promise I'm not just being nice, because they know I speak my mind, you guys. But I can't think of any complaints. Anything that I have brought to them, then we've worked together to change it. So, but at this moment, I can't think of anything that I would want to change.
No, okay. Just make it bigger, I guess.
You hear that, people?
But honestly, I like that it's so small. I like the intimacy.
That's
You know,
it's
yeah.
a catch-22. It's
Exactly.
Like you want to offer it to more students,
Right.
but then you wanted the same size. So it's like, yeah, I feel like we have a gym and, want to shine. So
Yeah, absolutely.
And so my final question, and you've kind of led into this, what do you see as the school's biggest challenges or opportunities heading into the future? Either one.
Oh, put me on the spot. Okay.
Go ahead.
Heading into the future. Oh, that's a tough one. That was really difficult for me to really assess. I think that we as a community need to continue to focus more on that community aspect. I think that it's been lost. As my co-speaker here has articulated, that community and the village has really deteriorated, I hate to say, within society. And I think that it's great that we here are trying to really keep that and capture that, but I think we're going to have to really push in the years to come, just because I don't know what that force is that's pulling away that village and the community. But I think that's something that we really need to continue to reinforce. I think it's going to be one of our biggest challenges at the school.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. Did you have anything to say, Ms. Garvin? Opportunities or challenges?
Well, I guess I have a question for you guys. So, and it's funny because we were just talking over here at our table about how next year I kind of feel like I have to kind of start over with like the bonds and the relationship with the people at the other campus, because I only know, everyone at the Alpha campus. So at some point, are we going to like bring the two together under one roof, or I think that will make a lot of sense. Like I said, we're definitely a family, but it's just like, except for today, I met the wonderful STEM teacher, the 5th grade STEM teacher. I now know her, but I don't know anyone. It's like I have to start over all fresh, and I have to get to know them and build those relationships. And it's just like I would love for us all to be, for 8 years, be under one roof, and we all can, get to know each other and everything like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for your honest answers, and thank you for all of your answers. I told them when we started here, like, just speak from the heart. Whatever comes up, just speak. Go for it. If we get off script, that's okay. And I think they did an amazing job, so thank you so much.